Bristol City kick off their 23-24 campaign at home in front of the Ashton Gate faithful against Preston North End. How will we phase, though? How will we be able to deal with Preston North End? So, I'll be going through, in this video, my general stuff, talking about Preston, talking about how, what they could potentially do to us, and I'll be talking about what my score predictions will be. We'll talk about the lineups, and but most importantly, my score predictions at the end too. I tend to say this in every video, but I don't think this is particularly going to be an easy start for Bristol City either. Preston last season, absolutely stupid record at the start of the season. I think it was 8 games where they went without conceding, but 7 or 6 of them were 0-0 draws, so you don't really know what to expect. It was incredibly uninspiring and absolutely breathtaking at the same time. It was an utter oxymoron of a set of results. It was really, really confusing. And the data kind of suggested the Preston really shouldn't have had those results. They should have scored more goals. They created loads of chances. They didn't. In the end, they probably should have conceded a few goals too, but they didn't. So if that sort of form is going to be replicated at the start of the 23-24 season, Bristol City are going to be in for a tough ride here. When these two sides met last season, Bristol City won both encounters 2-1. In the first encounter at Ashton Gate, a Rob Atkinson double, capped off with, his second goal being in the 90th minute, sent Ashton Gate into delirium. The second one at Deepdale, again, another 2-1 win, but a first half of utter dominance, which eventually was enough to get the 3 points at Deepdale. Preston North End and Ryan Lowe have actually conducted some good business over the summer. 6 new signings have come in at Deepdale, Jock Watmo being the last one after his contract was terminated at Wigan. Leighton Stewart has come in from Liverpool in only one of a whole bunch of new additions to the forward line, including Will Keane from Wigan, Dwayne Holmes from Huddersfield, Mats Freuler Jensen from Europe as well. So some really exciting additions to the squad. They've obviously lost a long-term player in Dan Johnson. They've lost Josh Onomer. They've lost Tom Cannon, but he looks set to re-sign on a loan deal. Whether he's going to be available in time for this game, I'm not overly sure. I'm sure Preston fans will let me know. If he is announced, I'd say by tomorrow, I think that he'll probably be available and he will be probably starting at Ashton Gate, quite frankly. And if that does happen, well, they have Cannon, they have Jensen, they have Will Keane. Emil Rice-Jacobson is not available yet, but they will have a whole bunch of options to fiddle with, and it'll be interesting to see what Ryan Lowe actually goes with as a front three, which I'm presuming it will be at Ashton Gate. So in terms of Bristol City, well, over pre-season, Nigel Pearson has mentioned we've had a couple of injuries, unfortunately, notably to Cal Naismith and to Ross McCrory, who are both kind of not available to us at the back end of pre-season, so I don't think we'll be seeing either of them in the starting 11. Maybe we might see one of them this match they squad, maybe for 30 minutes or so. However, in terms of what I expect it'll be Max O'Leary in goal. I expect George Tanner at right back, Zach Viner, Rob Dickey, the new signing, in at left centre back, Cam Pring as well. So that kind of gives us in the centre back partnership, Zach Viner and Rob Dickey. Well, we have the kind of newfound leadership of Zach Viner, and just generally how comfortable Rob Dickey on the ball will allow us to, kind of balance out Zach Viner's leadership and general positional awareness nowadays. And Cam Pring's attacking quality down the left-hand side should hurt Preston quite a lot. And obviously George Tanner has been solid for us and really had a good season last year. I think he'll be there because Ross McCrory's not available. In midfield, I have Alex Scott, Joe Williams and Jason Knight. I expect Jason Knight to make his first start. I think for that sort of money, you expect him to be starting whenever available. Alex Scott, well, there has been new rumours. John Percy and a few other sources have said that he's in advanced talks with Bournemouth. However, recently, a few people of our side have said that's not 100% true. So hopefully he is, ready to go in terms of playing at least a few games for us, and hopefully, giving a good output, and eventually just us benefiting even for a short period of time before we eventually sell him off. Jason Knight, as I mentioned, we won't be spending that sort of money and then not playing him. Joe Williams, that's a bit of a contention really. Joe Williams, we have Andy King, Matty James. I just expect Joe Williams to start over the other options available at the moment. The front line is probably the most interesting aspect of the team at the moment. We're still unsure in terms of who has nailed down a position in the starting 11, who hasn't really. Up top, I think it'll be Tommy Conway. I think that's pretty obvious. On the left-hand side, I'd go with Sam Bell. Now, we could have options of Anis Mehmeti, maybe even Andy Vyman or Harry Cornick, but I'd go with Sam Bell because he's impressed quite a lot in pre-season and had a quite lengthy run of games last season as well. On the right-hand side, I'd go with the ever-dependable Mark Sykes again. It's been really solid in pre-season as well. Started against Pompey in the final game of pre-season, so I expect him to nail down a position in the first team against Preston. It is basically a sellout Ashton Gate, so I think it's very important Bristol City actually start very quickly and on the front foot against Preston instead of waiting for them to make a mistake. We need to take the responsibility in the game, to control possession and then just generally making a lot of chances and creating problems for Preston. I think if we do that, we probably score early on, and then if that happens, I think that kind of just snowballs into whatever eventually happens. I think Preston have enough goals threat in their squad at the moment. I think it will be interesting to see how Preston, again, line up and in that front three, how they're going to cause problems as well, and their defence as well. You see, if Jack Watmough plays, then they might not have complete understanding and cohesion between them, so we could potentially take advantage of that. So I think it's going to be a low-ish scoring game. I think it's going to be a fast starter for Bristol City, hopefully. And if that happens, I think we probably win the game as well. I think it's very important we get off to a good start because the first run of fixtures we have is, well, pretty kind to us, actually. So if we get off to a good start, we can then bank on those results and during the middle of the season where the going gets a bit tougher. So I think we win the game. I think we make a good start. I think we make the fan base happy. I'll go with a 2-1 win. What are your thoughts and predictions? Let me know in the comment section below. So that is it. Thank you guys very much for watching this match preview for Bristol City's first home game against Preston. It will be interesting to see how we line up, whether we have either Hayden Roberts down the left hand side instead of Campering, is McCrory and Naismith, are they completely fit? Or how we line up on the wings. It will be interesting to see. I think it's going to be a interesting team selection from Nigel Pearson. I'm sure one that will get fans talking on Twitter especially. So that is it. Thank you guys very much for watching. Subscribe to the Shopping Store channel for more Bristol City content in the future. Obviously I will be there for Preston, so watch out for the matchday vlog. That will be out pretty soon after the game. Thank you guys very much for watching. Keep safe. Catch you all later. Have a good one. Cheers.